city manager, city staff, boards and commissions, members of the media, and citizens of Rye. It's our tradition to do the State of the City Address at the first meeting, and it's a pleasure for me to be here tonight. And today we begin a new year and a new decade with a new council and a renewed sense of optimism about so much we can do in our city. We share a rich heritage that ties our generations together. We share a true sense of community where help thy neighbor is a reality. And we share an opportunity for our city to be the leading community on the Sound Shore. But we will be tested, just as you and your families and those around you have been tested this past year with the economic conditions. Your government will be tested. And our government is defined more than just the 7 volunteers up here tonight. It's defined by the hundreds of volunteers we have on our boards and commissions. It's defined by our professional city management team. And it's defined by you, the citizens of Rye. And if you look at governments everywhere, we've all seen that the public has stood up and said, enough. We've reached our limit when it comes to taxes. So we really need to look at tax relief as a major initiative. When that happens, it's time to get back to basics and rethink what is local government all about. And there are really 3 primary roles. The first is the financial sustainability of our city. The second is the safety and well-being of our citizens. And the third is an enhanced quality of life within the confines of good economics. And in Rye, we will be faced with anticipated revenue shortfalls, structural state and county deficits, 4 new labor agreements, a transition to a new city manager, flood mitigation solutions, restructuring our law department, a fresh look at our litigation strategy, capital investment demands, a $5 million balloon payment on the old CVS building, environmental concerns, and the need for immediate pedestrian safety infrastructure improvements. So how is Rye going to succeed? Beginning today, we will deploy 3 governing principles that will be central in everything we do. The first, establish clear lines of senior management accountability. We have some of the best municipal staff in the county who are eager to lead and help us meet the needs that we have. Second, empower our boards and commissions. We also have some of the best and brightest private sector individuals who have the expertise and the experience and the skills to help us think through some of the toughest decisions we have before us. And third, encourage active public participation. An informed and engaged public is fundamental to the positive change we need. So we need to provide as many formats and forums for citizens to provide input. And fact-based communication is critical. Where are we going to focus? Our priorities in the coming year are as follows. Financial management. Budgets are built on assumptions, and already the assumptions in our 2010 budget are changing. We are an economically diverse community with moderate to high income, unemployed, fixed income, and we need to rededicate ourselves to tax relief. As a result, I'm calling on the city manager and the senior management department heads to begin planning for the 2011 budget today by identifying 5% in contingency savings in addition to the contingency we have now. In addition, we need an objective look at the financial trends and their impact on us and the measures we need to take. Therefore, tonight we will begin with a review of the Finance Committee, its role and the role it needs to play in the future. I've asked Councilwoman Paula Gamache to continue her work on that committee. Litigation management. Starting today, we will incorporate additional controls on our case management. I've asked former Mayor John Carey and Councilman Joe Sack to make a recommendation to the Council on establishing a volunteer litigation case management committee to act as an advisory panel on our legal process, not legal strategy. We've just instituted Kristen Wilson, who I mentioned is not here tonight, on a planned vacation, as our interim corporation counsel, and we are very happy to have her. But we are not going to overlook this opportunity to look at our overall legal operation. City management. Frank Culross has expressed an interest to retire at some point in 2010. And he and I both agree we cannot go into 2011 without our future city manager. I've asked Frank to put together a recommended transition plan to share with the council that will allow us ample time to identify and responsibly transition to a new city manager. That process should take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And on a personal note, I cannot properly express my enormous gratitude to Frank for his leadership and public service to Rye. He's been enormously a huge asset to us. I also want to commend City Controller Gene Gribbins, Joe Fazzino, and Assistant City Manager Scott Pickup for their work during a difficult 2009. Pedestrian safety. One cannot go from point A to point B in Rye without taking on some level of safety risk, whether walking, jogging, or biking. It's become a citizen-driven issue, and government needs to stand up and provide enforcement and investment. Cell phone, texting, and speeding are just a few examples where the community needs to say enough. Josh, Nathan, and I will lead a joint committee on, with the school and the city to frame out an implementation plan and the issues that will be conducted through subcommittees of our Traffic and Transportation Committee. I would like to have an active police officer on that committee, and I've asked Councilwoman Susanna Keith to be a member of that commission. Flood mitigation. Flooding in Rye is no longer a buyer beware Indian Village problem. The emotional and financial impact that Rye continues to have is far too great. It impacts our downtown, our institutions, and our infrastructure. Yet the experts of the community at large not only disagree on what to do, but if we should do anything. We need to move forward with one voice. I've asked Richard Filippi, in concert with our city planner, Planning Commission, Conservation Commission, Flood Action Committee, to deliver a recommended plan summary by April 16th to the council and the public for review, 3 years to the day of the last flood. Governmental management. Westchester County is projected to have a $60 million deficit next year. Multiply that by 300 times and you start to get a sense of the structural deficit at the state. As a city, we need to be a lot more engaged with the surrounding municipalities to advocate change at the state and the county level. We need to understand both the impacts of pending legislation, labor relations management, as well as grant opportunities. Tonight I am calling for the creation of a new permanent committee on government relations to work with the city manager and council. I will ask Councilman Peter Yovanovich to work on that committee. Downtown. Downtown is one of the best assets we have. We need to shift to a merchant-friendly downtown to accelerate and expand ideas like outdoor dining, 15-minute parking, and programs that support our businesses, as well as begin planning for a two-tiered parking structure. The demand for commuter, retail, and restaurant parking is real. I've asked Councilwoman Parker to continue her work on the Rye Chamber of Commerce. Other initiatives include the Rye Recreation Commission to identify field space, cost containment, and new revenue sources. The CCAC to look at the development of a sustainability plan. And Rye Town Park, where we are responsible for 50% of the operating budget, 40% of the capital expense, but only have 33% of the voting authority. I've called on Rye Town Supervisor Joe Carvin to work with me on aligning that relationship. So that's a lot. There's a lot there. But all of these initiatives are for naught if you, the public, are not kept up to date and have the opportunity to provide feedback. Tonight I am calling on to expand our cable committee to be a full media committee to include internet, social media, email, and other media. Our school district has been very good at keeping families informed. The city should be equal to the task. Threats like burglaries and coyotes require immediate and heightened awareness, information, and collaboration. I'm also, as I mentioned earlier, instituting the Mayor's Management Report, where we will hear from the city management on topical issues of interest to the public. In addition, we will do things like a citywide survey, town halls, and create a feedback link on our website. So why is Rye going to succeed? Because these are not my ideas, they're yours. This is what you told us you wanted. You've clearly spoken. In Rye, we have the people, the know-how, and the willingness to make things happen. Now more than ever, we are in this together. And once the debate is over, we need to pull together. So we look forward to 2010, ready to work with you and ready to serve. Thank you.